and welcome. My name is Don Burrows. I am a resume strategist, I'm a workshop leader, and I'm the author of several do-it-yourself resume writing workbooks. One of which is this, How to Get Interviews, Stop Sending Job Search Junk Mail. This book is a blueprint to present yourself as an ideal candidate each time you apply. And it's intended for maybe 10% of the job seekers on the market today. Those who are comfortable presenting themselves in terms of their accomplishments and their skills. This is a companion workbook to the book I just showed you, and it is called How to Win Your Inner Game. Update your attitude before you update your resume. This book is for 90%, the remaining 90% of the job market who are presenting themselves still in a generic, reverse chronological, two-page format and being ignored by recruiters for work they've already proven they can do. This is intended to help you build your self-confidence, your job search self-confidence, to the point that you are then ready to use the blueprint. There. So, this is my welcome video. I've just put up a brand new website that's called Behavioral Interview Resumes, and I have really two purposes for putting up the resumes website. One is to help you stop being ignored by recruiters for work that you know you can do, that you've already proven you can do. And second is to help you use the resumes, what I call professional profiles, that you will create to present yourself as an ideal candidate, to use those credentials to be a superstar when you get into behavioral interviewing situations. Perhaps you are a recent college grad and you're looking for your very first job. Or let's assume that maybe you're in career transition and you're wanting to move from one job into perhaps a totally different field, but use the skills and experience you've gained in the first area to transition into a new career. Maybe you think you've earned a promotion, but you haven't gotten it because your boss doesn't have a clue what you've done, really. They just don't know they don't know you exist. Maybe you're a baby boomer, or you've been laid off, or you're a military veteran transitioning back into the workforce, all of which are difficult situations in this market to find work and get interviews. Or maybe you're a solopreneur or a freelancer and you're looking for gigs. If you're not getting interviews or you're not getting your promotions, I'm going to believe that you're frustrated. Maybe you're fearful, maybe you're angry, and I want you to know I've been exactly where you are. I've felt exactly as you feel. For 6 months I was in layoff mode. I watched my savings go down as my anxiety went up, and I was ignored for work I knew how to do. I want you to know that I've used this system that you're about to get introduced to present myself as an ideal candidate to win interviews, to win jobs, to get hired, and to get myself back on my feet. So this isn't just philosophical pie in the sky. This is pragmatic stuff that works. I've been a resume strategist for over 35 years, and for 18 of those years I was also a hiring manager and an in-house recruiter. I've learned that about 90% of job applicants who are qualified for what they're applying for, and who are not getting interviews, feel victimized. I know I did. And they also feel that there's no work, nobody's hiring. Well, I want you to know that for the people who have used my system, they would tell you an entirely different story. They know that's not true. You don't need to feel a victim, and you don't need to think that there is no work and nobody's hiring. There is work, people are hiring, just not you at the moment. We'll fix that. Here's what I know. There are only two things that really determine the success or failure of your search for meaningful work you want to do. And the good news is both of them are under your control. The first is what's known as your inner game. Your inner game is how you feel about yourself. It's how you see yourself. It's your strength, your self-confidence, your job search self-confidence. It's how you feel about yourself. It's how you see yourself. It's your job search self-confidence. It's your determination not to quit on yourself and just settle for some little piece of job. You get to choose whether you're going to be what Zig Ziglar, master sales trainer, referred to as a meaningful specific or a wandering generality. We'll figure that out. The second choice that you control is your outer game. That's your resume and your cover letter. You determine what you send out. You can choose to present yourself generically, following what I call the boilerplate herd. And when you do that, you're using the two-page reverse chronological resume that recruiters ignore. Or you can choose to stand out and use customized resumes and cover letters based on your accomplishments and your skills. So you have a choice. You can either be the spaghetti that blends in with no strand really being discernible from the other and therefore ignored by recruiters, or you can be a meatball on top of the spaghetti and you'll stand out as an ideal candidate. So that's your choice. If you've chosen to follow the boilerplate herd, I'm pretty sure you've heard people say that your resume has to be 2 pages, no more, because nobody will read more than 3 pages. And it has to be in this particular reverse chronological format because that's how HR wants it. Well, if you're following that outer game format, you're making it really easy for HR to do their screening job and to screen you out of consideration. But you're not doing anything to make yourself an ideal candidate because you can't do that with a generic resume. So before you check out of this website, I hope you'll kind of take some time and browse around it. You'll find a lot of information that is relevant to your search, and you'll find a lot of examples under the tab Real Profiles. As I say, I call them professional profiles rather than resumes because resume is such a generically boring word. Anyway, bottom line is you may be 100% right for the job, but if you can't get the interview, it won't matter because they'll never know about your perfect credentials, your education, your experience. So you've got to present yourself as an ideal candidate. My second purpose of the website is to help you use the professional profiles that you have created, the custom professional profiles, to use them to present yourself as an ideal candidate and be a superstar in a behavioral interview situation. More and more companies today are using behavioral interviews for screening purposes to make sure that the candidates, or the applicants anyway, that they're interviewing have the requisite skills to be able to do the job should they get hired. They need to be able to know they faced the same or similar situations earlier that they're going to face in the new job. They develop a series of questions along the lines of, tell me about a time when you did something, maybe solved a problem that was very hard to figure out and you had to overcome a lot of obstacles in the process. So they'll ask you a lot of questions like that. Applicants who have chosen to take the time to identify their accomplishments and the skills they use to achieve them perform very effectively in behavioral interviews. Their confidence is very high and they go on to move from the applicant pool to the candidate slate, and from there they get hired. And of course the opposite is also true. If you continue to present yourself generically, you pretty much stay in the applicant pool for a long period of time. So here on the site you'll find a lot of different ways that we can work together to help you win interviews as an ideal candidate. I invite you to take the time to browse around. You'll find 3 different ways that we can work together. The first one is done by you, and that's using the books. The second is done with you, and that's where I will help you create, over a 4-week webinar series, what you need to do to be an ideal candidate. And the third is done for you, where I'll work with you one-on-one as your one-on-one coach, editor, writer, and we'll get it done very quickly. There's a blog site on here to sign up for. I hope you'll take advantage of that. And there will be you'll see an opportunity to sign on for my first webinar, which will be in January. And it is called, big title, 3 Huge Mistakes Job Seekers Make That Keep Them Irrelevant, Invisible, and Ignored by Recruiters. So thank you for your time, and to help you become an ideal candidate even faster, if you'll scroll down and sign in, you can click on this and I will send you this overview book of how to get interviews. Stop sending jobs or junk mail. So, thank you very much for your time again. Until we connect, I want to leave you with one bit of advice. Remember, be the meatball, not the spaghetti. Thank you.